There is a small girl inside of you. Not a metaphor, not a memory, but a living, breathing fragment of your soul. She does not cry loudly. She doesn't make demands. She simply waits. She waits in the quiet, in the long pause before you fall asleep, in the lump that rises in your throat when someone dismisses you, in that hollow ache when you succeed but still feel empty. She is the girl you had to leave behind to survive. Not because you wanted to, but because you had to. Some wounds don't bleed. They don't leave visible scars. They don't fit the picture of trauma we've been taught to recognize. They look like this: a birthday with no one who remembered, a parent who showed up physically but was emotionally absent, the hug you never got, the words you needed, "I'm proud of you, I see you, you matter," that never came. They are silent wounds, and silence doesn't mean they don't hurt. It just means you buried them deep enough to keep functioning. Because survival demanded silence. Survival demanded strength. Survival demanded you become someone who didn't need so much. So you adapted. You became the girl who smiled when she wanted to cry, the achiever, the helper, the strong one. But the truth? The child inside of you never stopped needing. She just learned to pretend she didn't. Psychologists call this attachment injury, and it happens quietly. It happens when your basic emotional needs weren't met early on, not because your parents were evil, but because they were wounded too. Your nervous system adapted. It learned love is inconsistent. Care comes with conditions. Attention must be earned. If I'm not good enough, I'll be punished or ignored. This creates an adult who is always scanning for rejection, always trying to prove her worth, always anxious even when things are going well. She can't fully rest in love because love has always felt dangerous. You might call it anxiety, perfectionism, people-pleasing, but underneath all of it is a scared child still trying to make sense of why her basic needs were never safe. But here's what no one told you when you were small. You don't have to wait for someone to finally love you right. You can become the mother you always needed. You can speak the words that were never said. You can show up for the child within you, not with judgment, but with reverence. This is called reparenting, and it is one of the most revolutionary things a woman can do, not only for herself, but for the entire lineage of women who came before her, for the daughters who may come after. It ends the cycle. Because when you begin to mother yourself, you stop demanding the world to give you what it never could. You give it to yourself. And in doing so, you reclaim your power. You know those moments when you overreact? When someone forgets to text you back and suddenly you spiral? When your partner pulls away slightly and you're convinced they'll abandon you? That's not crazy. That's not you being too much. That's your inner girl tugging at your sleeve, tugging hard, saying, "Please see me. Please hear me. Please hold me the way no one ever did." The feminine path doesn't shame this. It honors it. Because true healing doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming fluent in your own language of pain and answering it with love. Tonight, when the world goes quiet, try this. Place your arms gently around your torso. Let your palms rest over your shoulders. Close your eyes. Rock slowly, the way you might rock a child, and whisper, not out loud, but directly into the soul. I see you. I hear you. You are safe with me now. Do this every night, not as a performance, but as a sacred return. You are not too old to be held. You are not too late to be loved. And you are never too far gone to begin again. Athena speaks softly. The child you were still waits for the woman you are. Go to her, not with pity, but with presence. She is not broken. She is simply waiting to be seen. There is a woman inside of you who has never been mothered. Maybe your biological mother loved you in the only way she knew. Maybe she was kind but distant, or strong but cold, or present in body but absent in heart. Maybe she gave you rules but no softness, food but no tenderness, criticism but no comfort. Or maybe she gave you nothing at all. So you grew up learning to be your own strength. You became the reliable one, the fixer, the one who never cries. You learned to soothe others, but never yourself. And now, as an adult, you feel the echo of that emptiness. It comes as burnout, as emotional exhaustion, as the desire to be held, and the fear that no one will hold you right. Science confirms what your heart has always known. The first bonds we experience, especially with the mother, form the blueprint of how we feel safety in the world. If those bonds were unpredictable, your nervous system was wired for survival, not serenity. If love came and went, your body learned, stay alert. Something could go wrong at any second. This is why some part of you is always scanning for danger, even in calm moments, even in safe relationships. You struggle to fully relax, because deep inside, your body still believes that love might vanish. Again. But here's the miracle. Neural pathways can change. The body can learn a new rhythm, and it begins with self-mothering. The sacred feminine holds a secret the world forgot. You carry within you an inner mother. She is wise, soft, nurturing. She knows when to rest, when to hold, when to say, "Enough, darling. You've done enough today." This mother lives in you. Even if your real one never showed you how, even if no one ever modeled softness, you can become her. You can embody the voice you longed to hear. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You can rest now. You are not too much. You are safe with me. Picture your heart as a womb, a place of holding, warm, dark, safe, sacred. In moments of panic, when your thoughts spiral, when your chest tightens, when your body shakes with fear you don't fully understand, close your eyes, breathe into this space, let your hands rest over your heart, and imagine your inner girl curled up inside that womb, protected, cradled, loved. The world may not be safe, but this space inside you can become her sanctuary, a place where fear softens, where anxiety melts into trust, where you no longer run from your feelings, but invite them in, hold them gently, and say, "You are allowed to be here." Each night before bed, try this. Lie down. Place a soft pillow over your belly, the place where your inner girl rests. Hug it, not tightly, but with gentle affection. Feel the warmth of your own body rising and falling with your breath. Now speak to her, not as an adult giving orders, but as a mother who finally came home. Say softly, "You are safe to dream. I will guard you now. You don't have to stay awake anymore." Feel what happens. Feel how your body responds when you stop managing it and start mothering it. This is not self-care in the shallow sense. This is soul care. This is the foundation of emotional safety. Somewhere along the way, they told you that strength was cold, that needing affection was weakness, that independence meant never asking for help. But feminine power, true feminine power, is not about denial. It's about nourishment. The feminine doesn't ignore wounds. She bathes them. She sings lullabies to aching hearts. She knows that healing doesn't come through force, but through presence, through soft eyes that say, "I see your pain, and I won't leave you in it." Athena whispers, "You were never meant to mother the world while starving for your own tenderness. Come home to yourself, wrap your arms around your ache, and remember, the mother you longed for lives in you now." There was a day, maybe you don't remember it, but it was the moment you decided, "I need to be good. I need to behave. I need to shrink to be safe." That was the day you traded giggles for silence, imagination for responsibility, freedom for safety. You stopped twirling in the hallway. You stopped singing without reason. You stopped painting without purpose. And slowly, you stopped playing. Not because you didn't want to, but because you were told, "Stop being silly. Grow up. Act like a lady." So you did. You learned to edit your joy, to ration your aliveness, to be quiet, neat, polite. But the truth is, your inner girl didn't die. She just went into hiding. Trauma isn't always about what happened. Sometimes it's about what stopped happening. You stopped feeling free. You stopped laughing from your belly. You stopped making messes, not because you were bad, but because you were trying to be loved. You thought, "If I'm good enough, calm enough, quiet enough, they'll see me, they'll hold me, they'll stay." But in that performance, you abandoned the wild, joyful, creative spirit that once lived inside you freely. The little girl who danced barefoot in the yard, who built castles out of pillows, who wore glitter like it was armor. She didn't disappear. She's still inside you, waiting for permission to come out and play again. Modern neuroscience finally affirms what your soul already knows. Play is not optional. It's essential. When you laugh, sing, paint, dance, explore, you're not just having fun, you're literally healing. Play releases dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, chemicals that soothe your nervous system, balance your emotions, and repair the stress patterns wired in childhood. It builds new neural pathways. It dissolves trauma loops. It reconnects you with your aliveness. This isn't just spiritual, it's biological. Joy is a healing technology, and the child within you knows exactly how to use it. You don't need to earn joy. You don't need to deserve rest. You don't need someone else's approval to be playful. The adult you may feel embarrassed, awkward, resistant, but the child within you, she's ready. She's always been ready. Let her color outside the lines. Let her paint her nails 10 different colors. Let her wear flower crowns for no reason. Let her be loud, silly, wild, tender. No one is scolding you anymore. No one is telling you to be smaller. And even if they are, you no longer have to listen, because now you are the one who decides whose voice you follow. Imagine a swing. To move forward, you must first lean back. Returning to childlike joy is not regression, it's propulsion. It gathers the emotional momentum to launch you into a future where you're free. Free from shame, free from duty without delight, free from the heaviness of being the responsible one all the time. Childlike joy doesn't make you less spiritual. It makes you more whole. It's not a distraction, it's a door, a sacred one, and your inner girl holds the key. Start small. Once a week, do something pointless, beautifully, deliciously pointless. Blow bubbles on your balcony. Dance in the kitchen to a song you loved at 12. Wear glitter just because. Paint without purpose. Watch cartoons in your pajamas. Make up a silly nickname for yourself and answer to it. Don't do it to be productive. Do it to be present, to breathe joy back into the parts of you that have been asleep for too long. You don't have to fix yourself. You just have to let her laugh again. She is joy, and joy is medicine. Athena whispers, "Your joy is not childish, it is sacred. Each giggle is a spell. Each dance a prayer. Each moment you choose delight over duty, you bring your soul back to life." There are things you never said. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe it wasn't safe. Maybe every time you tried to speak, the air in the room changed. The faces stiffened, the love withdrew. So you learned to swallow your words, the way a child swallows tears to avoid punishment. You didn't say, "I'm scared. I need you. That hurt me. Please don't leave. Please love me." And because you never said them, they never stopped living inside you. They turned into tightness, into tension, into a knot in your throat, your chest, your body. This is what happens when truth has nowhere to go. When children sense danger, not always physical, but emotional, psychological, they adapt. They become quiet, invisible, good, pleasant. They stop expressing needs. They stop asking questions. They stop crying out loud. Because when silence keeps you safe, you become fluent in it. But silence has a cost. The words you never spoke become energy stuck in the body. They fester. They weigh down your voice. They distort your self-worth. And here's the deeper truth. It's not just what you never said to others. It's what you never said to yourself. Modern science confirms what the feminine has always intuited. The body remembers. Every suppressed scream, every choked back sob, every moment you clenched your jaw instead of speaking. It's all still there, in your muscles, your posture, your breath. A tight throat, a stiff neck, shoulders that curl inward, a constant need to be small, agreeable, unproblematic. This is your inner child's language. She doesn't use words anymore. She uses pain. But the good news is, pain can become a doorway. Your body can become a temple of release, not just a prison of silence. You don't need a stage. You don't need an audience. You just need presence. When you speak the unsaid, even if it's only in a whisper, to the mirror, to the moon, to your own trembling hands, you crack open the cage. Every syllable becomes a key, every sentence a soft rebellion. Every truth spoken says, I am no longer ashamed of what I needed. I no longer protect those who silenced me. When you voice your pain, you are not making it worse. You are liberating the child who still believes it's not safe to be real. Try this. Stand in front of a mirror. Look deep into your own eyes. But don't see the adult you. See her. The child. The small, wide-eyed girl who still lives behind your gaze. And now, speak. Tell her what no one told her. Tell her what you wish someone had whispered on that hard night. Say, you matter. You didn't deserve that. You're not too much. You're safe now. I love you. Let the words fall out clumsy if they must. Let your voice shake. Let the tears come. She's not judging you. She's listening. She's been waiting to hear this her whole life. There are truths too heavy to carry inside. They need release. Here's a sacred practice. Write a letter. Not for them, for you. A letter to someone who hurt you, someone who ignored you, or a letter to your own self. Let your inner girl take the pen. Let her say what she never could. I was scared when you didn't come. I needed you to stay. I felt invisible. I deserved more. Once the words are on the page, you can read them aloud, softly, tearfully, powerfully. Then, if it feels right, burn it. Watch the smoke rise. Let the flame speak the words you couldn't. Let the ash carry the weight you no longer need to bear. This isn't revenge, it's ritual. A way to say, I don't need silence to survive anymore. Athena whispers, your voice is sacred, not just when it's wise, not just when it's eloquent, but when it's raw, when it's trembling, when it finally tells the truth. There is a knot inside you, not just emotional, but energetic, ancestral, embodied. A knot formed by the things they did and the things they didn't, by the protection you never received, by the innocence they couldn't hold, by the love you begged for and didn't get. This knot may not rage anymore, but it simmers, quiet, cold, buried just beneath your daily smile. Sometimes it looks like resentment, other times like perfectionism, bitterness, or distance. But beneath it all is grief. The grief of the child who deserved to be cherished and was left waiting. Anger is a sacred protector. It steps in when no one else does. It builds walls when no one built safety. It keeps you alive when softness wasn't allowed. But eventually, anger starts to build prisons instead of boundaries. It whispers, they don't deserve forgiveness. And maybe they don't. But here's the paradox. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about freeing the child inside you from carrying weight that was never hers. Blame keeps you bound. It ties you to the past like rope to an anchor. But you, beloved, you were born to rise. Neuroscience now confirms what mystics always knew. Memories are not fixed. Each time you revisit a painful moment with compassion, not judgment, your brain begins to recode that memory. It doesn't erase what happened, but it softens the emotional imprint. That's why forgiveness doesn't mean it didn't matter, it was okay, or they deserve a second chance. Forgiveness means I will no longer abandon myself to carry the pain they left behind. You don't forgive to excuse. You forgive to breathe again. Forgiveness is not a door you walk through once. It's a spiral, a wave, a rhythm. Some days it feels effortless. Other days it feels impossible. But every step toward it is a loosening, a release, a return to your own energy. Forgiving doesn't mean inviting people back into your life. It means no longer allowing them to live inside your nervous system. It means saying, I choose my freedom over my fury. I choose to heal without needing an apology, because waiting for them to change is another prison. But choosing to be free, that's a revolution. Imagine your pain as a tangled thread in your chest. Years of unmet needs, words never spoken, moments that left you breathless in all the wrong ways. The knot is real, but it doesn't need to be cut in rage. It needs to be untied in gentleness. Every act of forgiveness, a soft tug, a breath, a whisper. Not forced, not rushed, but slow and sacred. Eventually, the knot unravels, and your heart, once strangled by memory, learns how to breathe again. Try this ritual when the sun sets. Light a candle, place your hands over your heart. Say the name of the person or the memory you wish to release. Then whisper, I forgive you, not because it was okay, but because I refuse to carry this any longer. I forgive you to free me. Let the candle burn as you sit in stillness. Let the flame be your witness. Let it hold the pain until you're ready to let it go. When the time feels right, blow it out and imagine the smoke rising like your own soul being unbound. Athena whispers, forgiveness is not surrender, it is sovereignty. It is saying, what they did will not shape who I become. You are not what they did to you. You are who you choose to become when you are no longer bound by pain. Some moments simply never came. The bedtime story, the lullaby before sleep, the arms that held you when you were too overwhelmed to speak. You didn't imagine that hunger. It was real. And though time has passed, that little girl still waits. Not for apologies, but for experiences, for feelings she was denied, for tenderness she never knew. And the most miraculous thing, it's not too late. We often look back and say, they should have done better. And maybe they should have. But mourning what never was doesn't mean staying stuck in grief. It means acknowledging the holes in your inner quilt and deciding now to stitch in what was missing. You don't need to go back in time. You don't need to change what happened. You just need to gift yourself what your child self never received: a song, a soft pillow, a joyful moment created for no one else but her. Because while wounds live in memory, so también vive la cura. Your brain doesn't know the difference between memory and imagination. That means when you imagine a new loving experience, your brain records it as real. That's not delusion. That's neuroscience. And it's a sacred opportunity. Because even if your past was cold, your present can become a sanctuary. You can plant new snapshots into the album of your soul. Snapshots of joy, of safety, of self-compassion. Your inner child doesn't care if it's late. She only cares that you came. Sing to yourself out loud, even if it feels silly. Bake cookies for no reason and eat them while watching your favorite childhood movie. Dance in your pajamas to the song you loved at 11. Wrap yourself in a soft blanket and whisper, "I love you, little one." Take your inner child on a picnic, even if it's just in your living room. Draw with crayons. Sleep with a stuffed animal. Buy yourself the toy you always wanted but never got. Not because you're regressing, but because you're restoring. This is not indulgence. It's remembrance of what love feels like when it's finally unconditional. Imagine your memory as a quilt, but full of holes, tears, gaps where softness should have been. Each new act of kindness toward yourself is a patch. Each moment of joy, a new square of color and texture. Over time, you begin to reweave your story, not erasing the pain, but covering it with beauty. A patchwork of presence, of devotion, of sacred self-parenting. The child in you doesn't need a perfect past. She needs a loving present. Here's a sacred practice. Every single day, do one small act just for her. One moment that says, "I see you, you matter," and we get to feel joy now. Light a candle and let her pick the scent. Leave a flower on your nightstand. Drink from a mug that feels like childhood. Play hopscotch on the sidewalk. Read a page of a fairy tale. Wear your favorite color, not because it matches, but because it delights her. Small joys stack. Small moments accumulate, until suddenly, you are not living in the echo of your pain, but in the softness of your own choosing. Athena whispers, "You cannot rewrite what happened, but you can write what happens next." Each act of love you offer your inner girl becomes part of her new mythology, one where she is not forgotten, but adored. You don't need to fight to heal. You don't need to hustle for wholeness. You don't need to chase your own becoming like it's running away from you. Healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes healing looks like turning off the lights a little earlier, saying no without guilt, choosing tea over war, rest over shame, stillness over the addiction to fixing yourself. There is a way of healing that doesn't break you open with force, but melts you open with love. That is the feminine way, and your inner girl remembers it well. We live in a world that worships effort, struggle, sweat, sacrifice. Even healing has become another performance, another checklist, another expectation. We think, I must meditate perfectly. I must journal every day. I must get over it already. But the truth is, you cannot bully your wounds into closing. You can't shame your heart into peace. You can't schedule your soul's recovery like an item on a to-do list. True healing is not an achievement. It's an allowing. The sacred feminine moves like water. She does not force, she invites. She does not rush, she waits. She does not demand, she holds. She knows that the body opens when it feels safe, that emotions dissolve when they are embraced, not analyzed. She understands that tears are sacred offerings, that naps are medicine, that silence is a ceremony, and that sometimes doing nothing is everything. This is not laziness, it is wisdom. You are not broken for needing rest. You are not behind for needing softness. You are wise enough to listen to the rhythm of your own healing. Imagine pain as a stone resting in a stream. You could try to smash it with willpower, rage, resistance, or you could be the water. Let your love flow over the stone. Let your gentleness soften its edges. Let your breath swirl around it, again and again. And over time, the stone becomes smooth, less jagged, less painful to hold. This is how the feminine heals, not with force, but with flow. Not with judgment, but with presence. Try this once a week. Not as a task, but as a ceremony. Run a warm bath, add herbs, flowers, essential oils, anything that makes the water feel sacred. Lower the lights, play soft music if you like. As you enter, say out loud, I release the fight, I welcome the flow. Let the water hold you. Let your body exhale. Let the harsh voices inside you dissolve like salt in warm water. Whisper to yourself, I heal gently. I heal in my own time. I do not have to suffer to be whole. Let the bath become a baptism, not into someone new, but into the you who was always there beneath the armor. You are not a project. You are a poem. You were never meant to be constantly fixing yourself. You are not broken glass. You are stained glass. You were never meant to be productive all the time. You are not a machine. You are a moon. Waxing, waning, glowing, retreating. You are a cycle, a rhythm, a wave of sacred becoming. Let go of the pressure, the striving, the self-punishment disguised as healing. Let softness be your strategy. Let love be your language. Let rest be your revolution. Athena whispers, Beloved, you do not have to earn your healing. It already lives within you, like a river, like a lullaby, like a quiet yes waiting for your return. You came here carrying questions, carrying wounds, carrying a child inside you still waiting to be seen. And now you've met her. You've held her, listened to her, laughed with her, forgiven with her, danced, cried, rested, remembered. This is not the end. It's the beginning. The beginning of a life where softness is not weakness, where your needs are not negotiable, where your joy is sacred, where your inner girl is no longer buried beneath survival, but blossoming in your arms. Go gently now. Live slowly. Speak kindly. And remember, you are not healing alone. You are healing with her. And she has waited so long for this homecoming.